Welcome, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show. It is March 15th, the Ides of March 2021. That's an old, I think that's an old, like, Greek mythology. No, Roman mythology. The Ides of March. You heard that? No? I read a book once. Just one. Just one book. Got a big show today. Got a huge guest. We'll announce that in a little bit. I needed a break on on Friday, so producer James was out of the building. Only 2 shows this week. It's spring break for everybody here. We're going to take some time off. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we will be out of the office. So you can just watch the rest of our content. We got enough for you to, enjoy on those 3 days. We'll be back Monday. Have a big guest for that day. One of my boys, shout out Wes. We'll talk to you on Monday. Tomorrow we have a big guest who will be a local product here in the 4-4, coming out of Studio 44, Mr. Tay Andrews, junior receiver at Lockhart High School. But today's show will feature the GOAT for Austin high school sports, the greater Austin area, coverage statewide if there's a team going the distance. Shout out to Cedar Park girls basketball team for winning the state title. Mr. Snupe Daniel will be joining us at 7:30 to discuss Austin high school sports. The GOAT himself will be doing us a big solid. Known Snoop for a long time. Used to hear him on the radio going to work in the early 2000s. By the mid-2000s, we became friends. Helped launch Friday Night Fan Stand out of Intercom. Transformed into what Flex ATX is today. So we'll be talking to Mr. Snupe Daniel in about 25 minutes. But before we get into the show and get into what the Patriots are completely doing in free agency, shocking the world, doing things out of the norm, producer James, how was the weekend?
It was great. It was much needed. Good little break. But we're back at it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you do this weekend?
I just relaxed.
Okay.
Took the kiddos out to eat.
Where'd y'all go?
Spent some family time. We went to Pluckers on Saturday.
Nice. Which one?
Over there in San Marcos.
Okay.
Yeah, we were gonna go to Roadhouse, but everyone's pockets are feeling fat with that stimulus, so it was
Everybody got their
packed.
stimmy?
Yeah, it was really packed. It was like a 2.5 hour wait.
Did you get yours?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't get mine.
Yeah,
either.
I didn't get mine.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I used their little tool though, and word is Wednesday. I'll see what happens.
I checked it with the tool yesterday, and they were like, "We don't know a date. We'll let you know when we know a date." I really don't like to use the tool. I feel like it's just it's not useful. But
all right, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Big news out of New England: Bill Belichick, the general manager and head coach of the New England Patriots, has done some work today. Today begins, I guess you could call it the legal tampering. That's the term everybody's using, legal tampering, just because the new league year for the NFL begins on Wednesday. So just real quick breakdown of what the Patriots have done so far. They traded for Trent Brown last week. They re-signed Cam last week. Today, signed a huge contract to Matthew Judon, formerly of the Baltimore Ravens, Jonnu Smith, formerly of the Tennessee Titans, Nelson Aguilar, formerly of the Raiders, and then David Goodshaw. And the big signing, Jalen Mills, I think is going to be the biggest asset on the defense. That lets me know with that Mills signing coming out of Philly, probably Stephon Gilmore rather, is probably going to be on the outs. If not, then Jalen Mills will probably play safety and play nickel corner. There, you're going to have 3 solid, and then not to mention Dante Hightower and Patrick Chung will be coming back. So just think about, you have Chung at safety, Mills at safety, Stephon Gilmore, and then they have their other all-pro corner on the other side of the ball with Dante Hightower in the middle calling that defense. Very stout on the defensive side of the ball, knowing they probably have to compete with a whole lot of firepower in the AFC East. With the AFC East, with Miami doing what they did. This, to me, almost, you have to think about it, this is a direct response to not only Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, but in division with the Buffalo Bills and all the firepower they have on their side of the ball. Big time things going on in that neck of the woods. Does any of that kind of shock you, or some of those names? You probably recognize Nelson Aguilar. You probably recognize Cam. You probably recognize Judon, Jonnu Smith, especially like fantasy with the offensive players. You probably recognize them. But it looks like Bill Belichick said, Jonnu Smith, he destroyed us. We're going to go get him. Judon, we're going to go get him. The only thing that makes me scratch my head a little bit is the Nelson Aguilar. Because when Nelson Aguilar was in Philly, people were making fun of him. Like, people's houses were burning down, and people were making, like, jokes that if they threw a baby out of the burning house, like, not even Nelson Aguilar could have caught the baby coming out of the did you hear about that, like, 2 years ago? Yeah, there were people really – because he just couldn't catch a ball in Philly. And so, I don't know. That's the only one that kind of makes me scratch my head, especially with Galladay out there, Will Fuller out there. You just kind of think, like, well, those other guys are probably better than Aguilar, but the deal was probably very in the range of what probably Bill Belichick wants to see. And maybe he knows something, which he probably does, more about Aguilar. But that Jonnu Smith tight end deal, him and Hunter Henry are going to be like the class of free agents for this year, the tight end spot. And I think that pick right there, what's a quarterback's best friend on the offensive weapon side? It's a tight end. And you have a premier athlete like Jonnu Smith coming from Tennessee. Little gamesmanship right now between the head coaches, between Bill Belichick and Vrabel, plucking one of his guys out of free agency. Hey, if you wanted Jonnu Smith to stay there, Vrabel, you should have put the franchise tag on him and let him do his business. But more to come. 10 minutes after the show, Urban Meyer making little headlines. He's made a couple of moves in free agency. You think he's doing what he always does. He brings in former Ohio State Buckeyes and I don't know, Carlos Hyde. You remember that name, Carlos Hyde?
Yeah.
He signed with the Jaguars for the it looks like he got a 2-year deal.
Did he break out with the 49ers?
Yeah, that's where he really made his name like 4 or 5 years ago. He really broke out with them. And then the Jaguars do need a running back, but you're kind of just scratching your head. Why? Maybe he trusts Hyde, and maybe Hyde will remember the system Urban Smith's probably going to run. And I think Urban Meyer. I think Urban Meyer also wants guys that are going to like blindly lead or blindly follow Urban Meyer as he like takes over in Jacksonville. He's going to want like those guys in the locker room be like, oh, just trust him. Just buy into what he's selling you. We're going to win. I mean, it kind of makes sense to have veterans who you did recruit and go to Ohio State and now who are in the league and solidified themselves as, solid contributors as veterans in the NFL. Joe Thomas.
Remember when Urban Meyer was rumored to go to Texas? Like it was like
I was high on that. Yeah. I was high on Urban Meyer going to Texas. I think that deal all got done except Shad Khan probably said, "I don't want you to go to Texas. Come to Jacksonville, be the head coach, and you can pick any quarterback you want. You can pick either Fields out of Ohio State, or you can take Trevor Lawrence out of Clemson." But I think that's really what stopped. I think Urban Meyer was all but there. I mean, there was rumors that he was in Steiner Ranch and his wife was like looking at homes to buy.
House shopping.
Same thing happened to Nick Saban before they hired. I can't remember that other coach's name. But before Charlie Strong, before Saban was going to get the deal done, the Alabama donor said, "Coach, we'll just pay off your $9 million house," paid, and so he went back to Alabama. So it's like Texas gets cursed, but I think it's their own fault why they get cursed. They can maybe slow play it a little bit. Well, that's time for another story. What else do we have working on here? Latest moves. Corey Davis, formerly of the Tennessee Titans. I want to say the Houston Titans. Formerly of the Tennessee Titans, signs with the Jets. 3 years, $37.5 million, $27 million guaranteed. Corey Davis, I know he was injured, but he just did not perform in the last 2 years, especially in fantasy when I drafted him for the Tennessee Titans. And then when A.J. Brown, the second guy over there, his production just fell off the map. So good luck. I guess they want to get another deal or another target for Sam Darnold. But does this move here, is the move really for Sam Darnold or is the move really for Deshaun Watson? that's something that kind of is going to need to be analyzed a little bit, because for what I'm looking at, I know Sam Darnold. Another thing too, Sam Darnold's 23. He's 20. He's been in the league like 3 years. He's 23 years old. It's ridiculous. Joe Burrow's 24. Joe Burrow's only been in the league 1 year. Think about that. Nuts. Anyways, Corey Davis signs 3 years, $37.5 million, $27 million guaranteed. That is of 19 minutes ago at NFL Update. At My Sports Update on Twitter. 14 minutes after the hour. Let's get into a break real quick. Snupe Daniel, 15 minutes away. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show. I'm looking forward to this, James. Last year at this time, a lot of events were getting canceled just due to the fact that COVID had dropped. And like last week, we had talked about the anniversary of COVID. And so with those kind of dates kind of looming, and we're in that vicinity of time, we have some new things coming back. But before we get into that, we're going to do a little bit of recruiting news that has dropped today. A lot of the same names everybody already knows, but a new one that most people don't know. I want to give a shout out to Tavian Cord, the receiver out of Weiss High School. Big body. He's a 3-star recruit in our eyes for the recon rating, picking up an offer from UNLV today. So very cool to see him get that offer. Very excited. Also, another offer from Mikhail Harrison Pilot, another big talent who is going to be very well known when he goes to play off his collegiate ball, getting an offer from the University of Southern California. Then the 6A champion offensive lineman out of Westlake, Mr. Bray Lynch, 3-star athlete, has been offered by Texas Christian, TCU, the Horned Frogs. And then that man that we all really know and very well aware of is 4-star, 6A state champion, offensive lineman for the Westlake Chaparrals, Connor Robertson, picking up an offer from Ole Miss out of the SEC. His offer list is getting lengthy by the day. And if you haven't seen Connor Robertson's huddle or highlight reel, you should probably do a quick Google search. Just search Connor Robertson huddle. You'll see a throwback offensive lineman, probably back into the 90s. Highly aggressive young man on the football field. Very, very powerful individual. So I'm looking forward to kind of see where he's going to commit and then also play, collegiate ball. It would be really cool to see him play at Texas. But wherever he goes to play, he'll surely be getting primed and prepared for the next level. The next thing I really wanted to talk about was one thing real quick. Let me see. Doing a quick tech update. All right. I want to get into the 7-on-7 dates that have been released. Last year, we were greatly disappointed whenever they were canceled due to COVID. But this year, the new greater Austin area, dates and times have been identified, and wanted to give that information to the people. So beginning on with May 15th, the Round Rock SQT most likely being held at Westwood High School and the adjacent fields around it. Next, the Lake Travis Cavalier SQT will be held on May 22nd. That's a little bit, usually it's more into June. And then the Westlake SQT will be held on June 11th of 2021. This year, they're breaking things down into 3 different divisions. That's Division 1 for the schools that I had identified. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the Division 2. These are going to be more of your smaller schools, more of your 4, 3, and 2A schools. At a Division 2 in the area, Fredericksburg SQT will be held May 15th, same day as Round Rock. Burnett SQT will be held May 22nd, same day as the Lake Travis Cavaliers SQT. And then in Hayes County in Wimberley, Texas, June 11th will be held the SQT for that area. You can look up at 7-on-7, and they'll go ahead on the internet, just do a quick Google search, 7-on-7, Texas SQT. You'll get the official website to identify what school you will be joining for that division. We're going to take a quick break real quick. Looks like we might have Mr. Snupe Daniel on the flip side. Snoop, give us about 6 minutes. We're going to take a quick break, and then we will be back when we come back.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm here at my boy John's house. John's house right there. Anyways, he's the only person I know who plays Madden more than anybody else I know 24/7. So I bet you I'm gonna knock on his door. We're gonna go inside and see what he's doing. Let's see what he's doing. What you doing? Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
What you think I'm doing? Shut that door, man. There's a glare on the TV, baby. Miss that tackle. What's your problem?
My bad, dog. What's up?
Just chilling, man. You trying to see where the real champions lay at or what? So we lay that shit down. Alright? all day online. Outside the house, we'll play outside. That's how crazy we are. We'll put the TV, put the extension cord outside. We'll play outside, even on the rainy days. That's how crazy we are. Shoot, I play probably about 5, close to 10 games a day. Anybody that's down to play, I play instantly. I don't care who it is. I don't care if they're the best in the world. I don't care if they're an online gamer. I'll play them. All day, every day. You want to play at 5 o'clock in the morning? I'll play at 5 o'clock in the morning. I've done about 8 times already. Won maybe about 90% of them. Champions always lose sometimes, but we win more. He didn't score. He didn't score though. That's the thing. I stopped him from scoring. I didn't say I was gonna stop him at the line of scrimmage. I stopped him from scoring.
Yeah.
Shoot. Did I win? Did I pick the right plays? I know how to strip that ball. I know how to pick that ball. I love defense. I'm not that good at defense. I score a lot more. But I just see, like the previous play, he got on the 1, and I stopped him like I said I was. He didn't score. Now this is the time to shine right here. He came up the gut. Our guy was just waiting. It's like, no, that's my ball. See that? You see that? You zoom in. That's what happens when you're trying to score in my end zone. Even though it says Chargers, it should say Falcons. That's what happens. That ball comes out. Like I said, my ball. You see my foot fell on. I'm on the 1. I'll break loose out of that. It ain't no problem. It ain't no problem, goddamn. Told him I was gonna stop him. That's what I did. That I beat him, and I can sit there and laugh in front of their face because I just won, and they're still gonna be my friend afterwards because they know that they want to eat. They're gonna have to lose. No, scratch that, dude. Edit that. Let's redo it.
I only got like 1 minute, fool.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm gonna make shit up. 1 play, touchdown.
What?
Maybe.
I know you run that 9 route. I know you running that 9 route. I don't know even why you try. I don't even know why you try.
Double coverage, everything. Like I said, 1 play, touchdown. Like I said, he saw that I was running the 9 route. I did it anyway. He had double coverage, and I scored like I said.
I got something for that.
Man play. Shoot, not really, because I like cracking skulls. But the thing is funny, whenever I like that hit stick up on the game, it feels like I'm doing it. So it's all pretty much similar. So I like playing it, and I like playing it.
Oh, son. Quentin who? Quentin Jammer. That's a TD, baby.
His knees hit before he went in the end zone. That's all I got.
You can't challenge the play anyway.
What you
So
saying?
you can't. It's too late.
Shit. What the hell?
You can't challenge it.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't. You can't challenge it.
You can challenge that his knees hit before he went
You can't
inside.
challenge it. It's
Trying
too
to
late.
screw me. Those are the glitches that are in Madden that everybody's seen on the internet, on YouTube and shit. I'm telling you right now, his knees hit and they still give him goddamn.
Watch this the replay. Let's see where the ball's at. Look at that pick.
Look at this. Look.
Oh yeah. Where's his knee? Where's the ball? Where's his knee? Where's the ball?
That's all good.
His knee was crossing the play, and that's where his knee was at.
I win, don't I? What you talking about? Am I the best? You shouldn't even ask me a question like that. I win, so I'm the best. Shoot, any day, all day, every day. I'm always ready. I carry my remote everywhere I go. If I'm at work and somebody want to challenge me, I'll clock out and go play them. It don't matter. I'll clock out and go play. I might lose about 30 minutes of time and a half. It's all gravy though. I'm gonna get that win, and I'm still gonna get paid. I'll make it up tomorrow.
All right, John. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. See that stuff? That's what I do all day, baby. All day. I serve sausage. That's what I really do all day. It's my life.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show. Breaking news before we get into Mr. Snupe Daniel. 6A Division II state semifinalist Hayes quarterback Durand Hill has committed fully to the Mary Hardin Baylor's Crusaders. So shout out to that young man. Very cool to see that. But the man is on the line. He is the creative director for Flex ATX. When he's not flexing on audio engineers at the Horn, oh my goodness, the man is also on Fox 7 as a contributor every Friday morning. Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT, the best to do it, the best that will ever do it, Mr. Snupe Daniel, everybody. Snoop, how's it going?
They're great. They're doing the national anthem, so I'm going to just
Respect.
I'm gonna turn. Don't leave me. They're doing the national anthem.
No, this is excellent. This is awesome.
You know what? Like, I don't know if you can hear my voice. Can you hear my voice?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay, great. Okay, so that's really cool that Durand Hill verbally committed to Mary Hardin Baylor. That's great. I'm actually at a game featuring the Hayes Rebels taking on the Aikens Eagles in the 26-6A baseball district opener tonight at Tony Burger Center. So congratulations to Durand and the whole Hayes community.
Yeah, all good. Hey, Snoop, we'll wait for that to be over. No worries. That's awesome. Just catching at the right time. We're here with Snupe Daniel live at the Hayes Rebels Aikens Eagles baseball game during the national anthem. Why am I whispering?
Why is your hat on?
I'm not there in person. I was wondering why Snoop had taken his hat off.
Okay, we're done.
Yeah, America.
How you doing,
Snoop, how are you doing, man? How's the weather out there?
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful night to actually be outside, and now that basketball is completely wrapped up with the Cedar Park girls winning state and Westlake almost winning state. That's great because the two teams that took us to football state championships also took us to basketball state championships.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was telling everybody earlier in the show. We gave Cedar Park girls a shout out and Westlake as well. But the biggest thing, Snoop, I want people to know on our show when we kind of get a little bit more in depth is I want to know, I told people I used to listen to you driving into work in the mornings in the early 2000s, like 05, 06 time. And I want to know, can you tell the people what brought you to Austin to get into radio? Like, why did you choose Austin and how'd you end up in the great city of Austin?
Well, I'm from Dallas originally, and Dallas is a big market. It's real hard to break into Dallas, man. Let me tell you, if you think it's hard to break into Austin, you ain't seen nothing like Dallas because not only are you dealing with millions, it's just like playing sports, you know, like you might be able to get on the squad at Elgin, not hating on the Wildcats, but the shot of you getting in at Duncanville or wherever else in the Dallas area, it's just tougher. So I needed somewhere I could spread my wings and get some experience. And so I moved to Austin to do a rock radio, actually. 101X was my first radio job in Austin. I came here to do rock because I'm a rock dude at heart. But, just did whatever format would pay me to do something, really just staying flexible, no pun intended, and just working hard. And gosh, how many years is it? It's been a lot of years. I don't want to age myself, Paul, but early 2000s, yes, I was on the radio. You were probably a little youngin' too. So
no. I'm a little older than people think. I don't like to date myself either, but I was definitely out of high school by those times. But Snoop, you've done such a great job beginning with Friday Night Fan Stand and transitioning to Fan Stand, and now you are here with Flex ATX. Tell the people who don't know about Flex, because most people do, but for the world, we're on the world platform here. Tell them what Flex ATX is and tell them your vision moving forward and what they should know about Flex.
Really, Flex ATX is just we cover the ATX. We're all about Austin. We're very flexible in our coverage, whether it's boys or girls. Like we're covering softball tomorrow, baseball tonight, Cedar Park girls basketball to Westlake boys. So anyway, we just cover Austin area sports, and really we're centered around a very community-based like social media system to where we're shouting out kids on their birthday, or we're taking off-field photos of kids from different schools who are from the Austin area socializing. So basically it's kind of like a sorority for fraternity for Austin area athletes. And we just go hard.
Man, and you do go hard. What's going on over there? People cheering? Was there like a
home
run?
Well, it's the top of the first inning. It is, like I said, the District 26 6A opener tonight. Everybody's 0-0 tonight. In fact, Bowie and Austin High played just before this game tonight, with the Bulldogs winning 3-1. So they're 1-0 on the season, and right now both Hayes and Aikens are trying to do so. This is a great opportunity for the Aikens Eagles to have some success, because we all know in football it's been tough for them since their inception. I honestly, I want to go out on a limb and say they've never made a playoff appearance, but I could be wrong. I think they made one in like the decade before the 2020s, like early 2000s. But anyway, that's me not being well read. But baseball, they can compete. Well, last time we had a full baseball season, Aikens was able to beat Lake Travis, which then featured Brett Beatty, who was the first round pick of the Mets. But the Lake Travis Cavaliers that year went on to the state finals, and Aikens beat that team. So baseball is a great opportunity for schools who, won't necessarily compete on the gridiron with 11 guys from each side. They can put 9 guys on the diamond and try to scratch out a win.
Man, it is awesome, Snoop. And I want to know, like, what do you do? Like, I see your Instagram, and I see you kind of, doing these night scenes, driving through the city. Like, what's your inspiration for your creative direction, like on your personal social media? Like, what's your inspiration?
Oh, well, I don't know. I just want to show that because I do work really hard.
Yeah.
So I want to also show that there's other side of me too. Like I do work real freaking hard, but I also enjoy life too. So I just want people basically to know that. I'll put shots of me maybe on the sideline, but mostly driving because I love this city. I love looking at it. And, I like when I'm actually done driving to go back and look at where I was driving. I don't know, I'm a weirdo.
No, man, it's really cool because it's real. Like, your shots are like almost you're intimate with the city. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's like you have that relationship and that love affair with the city. It really comes through like the art that you're producing on your social media. I don't know if I ever told you that, but I just wanted to tell you now. Ladies and gentlemen, Snoop, we won't take up too much more of your time. I know you got
Whatever.
that big camera in your hand, man. That thing is a beaut.
No, that's good. I don't mind. We can talk all night, Paul. I don't care.
All right, man. Listen, let me let you.
Hold on. Grounded to short. Throw to first in the dirt. Runner's going to be safe on a error by the first baseman. So we have a 1 away in the top of the first here on the Paul Rodriguez Show. Hayes, Aikens. District play tonight at beautiful Tony Berger. We got action going, Paul.
Oh, you're at Berger? You're at the baseball
we
field?
got Berger Center, yeah.
Man, that complex is versatile. I didn't know they had a baseball field.
Yeah, it's a beautiful field. It's just a beautiful night for baseball. The crowd is pretty good. COVID ain't over, but
right.
People are getting a little bit more lax, and it's trending towards normal. I just hope that I don't want to get all into the vaccines and stuff, but I just hope things get back to normal.
How are they with, like you said, they're kind of getting a little more lenient. Like, how are the credentials with these? Like, I know with the gyms it was a little more difficult to kind of get in, but how is it with the open air baseball events, softball events?
Oh, no, I really don't think they're minding too much here, and I think the baseball crowd is a little more on the why do we have masks anyway side of things. So I'll just leave it there. It's right. Not, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the creative director of Flex ATX, the audio engineer at The Horn. Ladies and gentlemen, the mastermind, the GOAT, however you want to describe this man, he is the aficionado for Austin High School sports, Mr. Snupe Daniel.
Oh,
thank you, Snoop.
Thank you, Paul.
Hey, man, we got to you give everybody the damn shine. It's time for somebody to give you some shine every once in a while.
This is cool. I like to see me. This is pretty cool. I like it.
Hey, man, we appreciate
you. On my phone?
Yeah, brother. All right, Snoop. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Thank you for allowing me on the show, Paul.
Hey, man, appreciate you coming in through very much so. Thank you.
Bye.
Snupe Daniel, everybody. Man, at a baseball game, that's his element right there. Calling the in-game play like that, that was so fun to see that. Dude, that's some like real gold type of play-by-play. Like Snupe Daniel's a professional when it comes to that type of aspect. You just kind of feel it like in his voice, kind of transitioning back and forth like that. Were you captivated?
Yeah, I was looking forward to meeting the guy, although I haven't officially met him. But once we started all of this, and I was kind of trying to figure out like the direction that you were going in, and I saw a little piece on Snoop on, for what he does for Fox and on Friday mornings, right?
Yep, Friday mornings,
And,
like 9 to 10 o'clock.
Kind of gave just what goes. So I'm mainly into NFL football, a little bit of college, not really into high school unless I got a family member playing here locally. But like working with you and doing what we do here, and also reaching out to these young athletes kind of opened up something new to me, and it's pretty interesting. Just the early stages, in these young athletes and tracking them, watching them grow, giving them exposure and all that. It's pretty cool. It opened up something like a little, something I didn't know existed pretty much.
Yeah, cool. Getting exposure to a different form of media and Snoop is very true to like his craft. Like his craft is just going to cover like high school sports, but anything that has to do with high school sports, if it's a prom photo, like one of his most viewed YouTube videos is like an on-field prom. Was it a prom or was it a dance? It was some kind of dance. And a football player goes with like a bouquet of flowers to, one of the girls out there to ask her to go to the dance. And it's like one of the most popular viewed videos. And so it doesn't matter like where it's kind of coming from. It's just cool to see someone like Snoop who's cataloging all of the different events so that these young people, when they're like your age, when they're, pushing 30, they can go back because there's content that goes all the way back to 2010. And there's some very prominent NFL stars who were a part of that. Like I remember covering Samaje Perine whenever he was at Hendrickson when he was a freshman. I remember covering DeJay Johnson when he was a senior at Hendrickson and Samaje was a sophomore. I remember meeting Baker Mayfield when he was a 15-year-old bright-eyed sophomore at Lake Travis. Like I remember those types of things, and now they're prominent NFL athletes, and just to kind of see that transition and going to the next level. Like Snoop has stayed in his lane. He's pretty much created the lane, and I've been fortunate to call him a friend. Being a fan first and then becoming a friend was pretty cool to see that, and so I'm very grateful, very honored to have Snoop on the show, and maybe he'll come back again. Maybe we'll try to get him in studio next time and talk about something a little bit more in depth. Whenever I go on his show, I'm just talking about like recruiting, and it's kind of very structured. And what we want to do here is, like I said, we want to get to know the human being. We want to get to know who that person is, so that whenever we go watch them in their craft, we can be like, oh, well, I know a little bit about him behind what you see on media. And that's why I asked him too. I was like, what's your inspiration for your personal social media? Because it's fun. It's like he does it every night. Like there's a video of him like cruising by downtown, and it's like, hey, I see you. Like, thank you for being there. Thank you for letting me be here. It's pretty cool, pretty fun. Cool. 43 minutes after the hour. Man, good show so far. I'm having a good time. Tomorrow we'll have Tay Andrews, the Lockhart High School product, junior wide receiver, and I think that's going to be a real insightful interview. Also, he's got his own clothing brand.
Really?
Yeah. We'll give those details tomorrow when Tay's on the show. Let's take a break real quick. We'll be back in about 4 or 5 minutes. But in between then, shout out to Derrick Lewis going on Rogan show.
Did you listen?
Yeah. It was a good time.
I haven't had the amount of time to listen to the whole thing yet, but
yeah,
I'm enjoying it so far. I've kind of had a change of heart. I'm not gonna lie.
We'll have some combat sports when we come back. Did you watch that UFC main event with Black Beast out of H-Town?
I did not.
Bro. But he was fighting the number 2 overall heavyweight last week, and I was looking at the odds. I was kind of looking at the bets, and Lewis Black Beast Lewis was a plus 350 underdog. So that means if you'd have bet 100, you'd have made 350 plus your 100 back.
Unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Derrick Lewis.
Why? What the hell's wrong with you?
He's not what everyone makes him out to be. He is so overrated, dude.
What the hell? Okay, explain. After that fight, he has the most heavyweight knockouts. I think he tied Cain Velasquez.
He is good for that one punch, but I mean, when you fight like an elite,
like an elite grappler, wrestler, like what was it? Somebody helped me out with his name last week. I'm gonna look it up while James is trying to prove his point. That's probably gonna fall on deaf ears.
he called out Alistair Overeem after the fight. He said he wants to fight Alistair Overeem. Alistair Overeem has already said he's gonna retire, and he was like, "No, you have more left in the tank." He said, "I still want to clap them cheeks." And it's like, bro, Alistair Overeem is well past his prime. Yes, he is a legend of the sport. It will add on a name to your resume, but it's not shit. Like, for fans that, like, know the shit, like, at this point in your career, knocking out Alistair Overeem isn't shit.
Maybe Lewis was looking up to him while he was coming up, and he just wants to have a good battle as a nostalgic match for him and Overeem. Don't you think, like, have you entertained that thought?
No.
Come on, man. Think outside the box now. Anyway, shout out to Lewis. He tied Cain Velasquez with the most heavyweight knockouts in UFC history.
I do appreciate his post-fight interviews.
Derrick, why'd you take your pants off?
My balls was hot.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show, March 15th, 2021. The Ides of March are upon us once again. That is a direct quote from the book.
I thought earlier you were taking a shot at me because you were like, "Yeah, I've read a book."
No, man.
That's why I started laughing.
No. Like I said, I only read one book. No, I've read more than one book. I've listened to a lot of books. I don't know. For me, that just makes things easier. Like whenever I'm working, doing the 9 to 5. Audiobooks, dude. Amazon takes a good chunk of my money per month because I do the Amazon Prime. I'm not trying to like boast or anything. I'm just saying that I have a lot of money going out towards Amazon. And they got me a couple times. They were like, "Oh, here's 2 free audiobooks." And it's like, yeah, but I'm paying you like $17 a month. But I believe the audiobook purchases are more of like personal development, personal growth. Because the books I buy are like the Smart Investor. I bought David Goggins' book. I bought Will Link's book. I bought a couple of what's that author's name? The book I want you to read, and this is the book. Shout out to Chris Sanchez. This is the first book he gave me that he made me read. And when I say make, he highly encouraged me. Was Ego is the Enemy. And that's a very, what the hell? What's going on? Looks like wires knocking around. Anyways, Ryan Holiday is the author of that book. Ego is the Enemy. He's written many books. See, I had to like check my verbiage there. He had written. That's the Texas right there coming out of me a little bit. He has written a few books, and then there's another book that I saw on Rogan's show that it's called Tribe, and that book is very good. It talks about tribalism in your community, and it talks a little bit about how in the settler days, the wagon days, where you would have Anglos who would get captured by the natives, and they would get accustomed to the native life because of the different hierarchy and the aspect, and how there was less feudalistic settings in that type of environment with the natives compared to the settlements and the civilized lifestyle. And there was a lot of differences that people would go and they would go back. Like people would get rescued. The Anglos would rescue the other people from the natives, and the people who developed that lifestyle would go back because they enjoyed it more. There was like less pressure, and I don't know. It's a very good read. It's a very good listen if you didn't want to read it, but very cool. Just stuff that kind of pushes you to like grow. Yeah, definitely cool. But I mean, if you're not entrenched in your values and your morals, like you can get very confused. And so I believe I'm a person that's very entrenched in my values and morals. So it was easy for me to kind of get pushed into this direction. But then I start looking at all these different aspects, and I'm like, well, I don't really believe in that, and I don't believe in this, and I don't believe in that. And so it's cool to just kind of learn, but also understand like you need to be able to identify what you believe in and what you don't. So anyways, moving on back to the sports. Didn't mean to go off on a tangent. I apologize for get back to the sports, people. Getting into that, over the weekend we had some UFC, and we also had some boxing news drop. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua did get a 2-fight deal done. I don't know how Bob Arum let that happen, but he let it happen. I'm sure a lot of money is going to be on the fight for the 2 big heavyweights. And rumors are the Middle East, but Bob Arum said that if a deal doesn't get done within 30 days of the signing day, which is today's the signing day, the deal's just going to fall through.
Who's the other one? Eddie Hearn?
Eddie Hearn, yeah. So Eddie Hearn has 2 big fights coming up. He's going to have Canelo's fight with Billy Joe Sanders.
Not him personally.
Well, I mean, he's going to probably be making the majority of the money as being the promoter. Yeah. So Eddie Hearn's fighter, Billy Joe Saunders, and then Anthony Joshua. 2 big fights probably in the same year, I would say. Those heavyweights are, I would say, you all right there, bud? Went down the wrong pike?
Yes.
So I would say with the heavyweight fights, that may be Thanksgiving, November, December probably. If I had to guess, I'd probably think it would be in that time frame just because they're not Mexican fighters or Hispanic fighters. They're probably not going to – and then with Canelo already set for Cinco de Mayo, which is going to be on the 8th of May rather than the 5th because, if it's on a Saturday, more people are a little more likely. And I had to tell this to a buddy of mine. I just thought it was known. I thought it was inherent. It's like, why are they fighting on Cinco de Mayo if it's on the 8th? And I'm like, they're celebrating Cinco de Mayo on the 8th because it's a Saturday. You're more likely to drink. You're more likely to party.
You got to call in a word.
You're more likely to gamble. And you're more likely not having to work the next day. So with that being said, that's the reason why fights are on Saturdays. But that was big news with that 2 fights. So that's telling me that there's probably if a 2 fight deal has already been signed and now they just need to find the date and the location, the first fight's going to be a draw. I mean, and I bet you the odds on that fight for a draw, I bet you it's going to be like plus 7,000. It's going to be something crazy. Like that's what happened with the Canelo Triple G fight.
I told one of my buddies on Facebook because he had shared the breaking news that I had first saw it earlier, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, a 2 fights, of course, so somebody can get robbed on the first fight." You know what I mean?
Because or both of them could get, of them could get stolen.
Yeah, boxing is just so. Why are we expecting that? Like, I went on a tangent earlier. Like, come on, man. But I'm glad we're finally seeing this fight. Mm-hmm. It's a fight that needs to happen. It's a fight that the people need to see.
It's a unification fight as well. That's the other half of it. It's the unification fight. You're going to have – so in April, you're going to have the 2 American but claim Mexico fight. That means they were born in the United States, but they claim Mexico, which is their right to do. And then, that's with Areola and Ruiz. And then in May, you're going to have Canelo with Saunders. And then probably, if I had to guess, unless they want like a huge fall, you're going to need to schedule that fight either before football season or after football season. Because you're not gonna win if you schedule that fight in November. November is like the hotbed of college football. There are football games literally in November. There are pro and college football games Monday through Friday. College and pro, Monday through Friday for 3 weeks, leading up to Thanksgiving. You're dumb if you do it in November. The smart thing to do is to do it in December, if I had to pick. Or make it a New Year's thing.
We were talking about that Areola and Ruiz fight a while back. Dude, Ruiz looks like shredded. He like legit looks shredded.
think some of that's photoshopped, but
Really?
he looks a lot leaner than he did before.
Yeah.
Yeah, like lifting up his shoulder and you can see like 3 packs. I'm like, come on, bro. You're eating tacos just like me, homeboy. Like you're lean, no doubt. He's lean. But, once a fat kid, always a fat kid. Like, I'm not talking mess. I'm just saying, like, he probably had diehard nutrition, diehard training, and props. Like, he wants a shot at Wilder. That's what he wants. He wants to knock out Areola, which he probably will, and then set up a fight between him and Wilder. And then
you better not lose to a guy named Areola.
But that's not. I mean, Areola. That's not. You're thinking, boy, get your ass at the gutter. Anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is that this fight will be a stepping stone to Wilder, and then with Ruiz and Wilder, that winner, after they have their 2 fights, the Brits have their 2 fights. Then the American challenger will go to see who can win for the unification fight.
Ruiz and Wilder? Like if Ruiz were to win?
Ruiz ain't going to beat Wilder.
No way.
No, he's not beating Wilder. But but you got to give the man a puncher's chance because nobody thought he was going to beat Joshua.
True.
He knocked his ass out.
Yes, he did.
So, all right. So
he made him look silly, to be honest with you.
Did you watch that fight?
I did.
The first one?
I did.
Okay. What did you think of Joshua early in the rounds, like especially the second round? What did you tell about his body? And I just want to see what you thought because I know what I'm going to tell you.
I feel like he got fatigued, like flat out. I feel like he got fatigued. First of all, I think that he didn't think much of Ruiz.
Yeah.
So he landed some early shots, and I was like, okay, this is going the way everyone predicted, right? Because nobody saw. I would say mostly nobody saw it coming. But then, Ruiz comes on, lands some big shots, and he stays at it. Like, You got to give credit to Ruiz as well. It wasn't like Joshua just rolled over and died, but he kind of did. Like, he fatigued, and he just didn't look the same. Like, he looked done when he first got knocked. He looked shocked at first, and then he looked done. Like after that, and they threw in the towel. Did they not?
No, he got knocked out.
Yeah.
So from my perception, what I saw after the first round, going into the second round, his body already had like a full lather of sweat, and I'm like, that's either due to one of two things: either you have too much booze in your system, or you didn't train. Like you did not train for this fight, and so he was like, and combine that with probably high humidity wherever they were fighting. And I'm like, and I think that fight was in New York. So if there was high humidity in New York, and if you're fighting in an arena, there should be air conditioning. So you shouldn't be overheated due to lack of training. What I'm thinking is maybe he had a really good night the night before, and his body was like trying to get the toxins out, and he was just gassed. He was fatigued. And so he took him lightly. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that's just from my perception. Yeah. Allegedly. We got to put that word in there for everybody.
Yeah.
So.
Protection.
Oh, yeah. But then when he got knocked out, you could see on his face, he was like, I messed up. Mm-hmm. Like after the fight, like they raised Ruiz's hands and they gave him all the belts. He was like, I fucked up. And so then he came back with a vengeance and he destroyed Ruiz. Yeah. It was like Ruiz came in. He looked like, the heavier fighter, which he was. He looked soft. He didn't look like he trained, and he got embarrassed. And it is what it is. But I think the win over Joshua proved that Ruiz is a contender. He is a challenger. There's a difference between a contender and a challenger. He is definitely a challenger. His Wilder can take a punch. My question is, can Wilder take the punches to the body and to the head for 12 rounds with Ruiz's power? That's what I just don't know about, and I'm kind of curious, and we'll figure that out. We really didn't get into UFC. Let's take a quick break, and then on the flip, we'll come back and get into the UFC. There's some bigger fights coming up on the 27th, Stipe and Ngannou, but we'll talk about what happened this past Saturday. We'll come back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have breaking news out of the UFC. Dana White has announced that they are back. Leading off the card, Carl Usman versus Masvidal 2 set for April 24th, Saturday at the ViStar Arena in Jacksonville at full capacity, ladies and gentlemen. The live UFC event is at full capacity on April 24th, 2021 at the ViStar Arena in Jacksonville with a full capacity of 15,000 people. Reactions, Producer James.
I'm excited. No big surprise that the UFC was going to be the one to bring it back at full capacity. I think we were actually talking about this a couple of weeks ago on, what sport or organization was going to be the first one to bring it back. But I'm excited. We got the rematch between Kamaru Marty Usman versus Jorge Masvidal. We also got Valentina Shevchenko fighting Jessica Andrade for the women's strawweight title. Mm-hmm. And then we also have Rose Namajunas fighting against Wei Li, is what I like to call her, for the bantamweight women's championship, somewhere around there, I believe. So
you're talking about 3 title fights on one card?
3 title fights in one card. This is a legendary card. We saw a good one.
You saw that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we saw that 2 weeks ago. But this is going to be a very good card. April 24th. It's going down.
Live in Jacksonville with full capacity. I think is COVID over?
That's a word.
It's over in Jacksonville right now. It's over in Jacksonville.
Crazy things happen over there in Florida, man.
You think Vince McMahon saw this and got a little jealous?
Definitely.
He wasn't able to go full capacity first. I promise you, the next event, they're gonna probably sell tickets.
Yeah.
Like today's. That's shitty of Dana. He announced it on Monday night.
Oh, Monday Night Raw.
Well, it's 8:14. This news dropped at 7:24. So Dana White is a big. I think this is a big middle finger to Vince McMahon. Says, not only am I going to drop breaking news during your event, I'm going to break breaking news that telling everybody we're back at full capacity in Jacksonville, where the WWE is like doing all their events.
I like it. I'm excited. How do you feel?
I mean, I think when baseball, like the Texas Rangers Stadium, they said they're going to have full capacity, and that's 40,000. I was like, yeah, okay. Now, if Dana White's going to like come to Texas and sell out like Jerry World, then I'll be like, that's 100,000. Then I'll be like, all right, now you're doing something.
So is this like full capacity at like a small arena?
Well, I mean, 15,000 ain't small, but it's 15,000 people.
Yeah.
So that means 15,000 people breathing, 15,000 people drinking, 15,000 people doing God knows what in Jacksonville. So, I mean, it's going to be, how lucky are we that we had breaking news in, I think COVID's over. Let me tell you why. Because the last time I was a part of breaking news, we were doing, that's when I was on Recon Athlete Podcast with Chris and Zach and Snoop. And we were on the air when the NBA shut down all operations. Like there were games scheduled to play at 9, and we were on. It was like 8:20, and this is when the NBA just sent out the release like they're shutting everything down due to COVID. And now I'm back on the air talking to the world where Dana White told everybody, well, we're back and we're open to full capacity at 15,000 people for a live 3-title event on April 24th, 2021.
Yeah. And shout out to Dana White, man. Like he has held his balls in his hand, and he has, carried on the UFC in a very responsible manner, in my opinion. Getting testing out the ass.
Well, they're very diligent with their testing. That's another thing. How about this? No fucks given.
I like it.
But that's what it is in the combat sports, and that's what I talked about when we were doing the Recon pod. Shout out to Chris and Zach. We talked about who would be like the first to come back, and I go, It's either going to be football or it's going to be combat sports. It's going to be one of the two. And here it is, Dana White. Dude, that's heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy. Texas, I bet Jerry's jealous right now. He's like, what do we got to do to get this at Jerry World? What do we got to do, Dana? What do we have to do?
He's on the phone right now.
Where is that? I want to know, where is that fight between Canelo and Saunders? Is it here? Is it in Texas? Do we know?
Also had some news sent to me by my brother. Shout out Joseph Santa Cruz. Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler is in the works. Michael Chandler is the light heavyweight champion, welterweight champion, I believe, from Bellator, coming on over to UFC. And yeah, he's challenging Justin Gaethje, which, the former number one contender that fought Khabib. That's going to be a very great match. So, yeah, hopefully they get that deal done, worked out.
As of 15 hours ago, from SB Nation, Canelo versus Saunders, promoter Eddie Hearn hints that the fight will take place at AT&T Stadium, Jerry World, May 8th. Tell me they're not going to have a full capacity. Tell me.
Yeah, after today.
After today, they're going to have full capacity. Well, maybe not full, but they're going to have 50,000 people in there. I promise 50,000's only half capacity. 50% capacity. 50,000. I think they could do 75. What do you think? Knowing Jerry, he's going to be like, I'll sell it all. Just get me on over to Jerry World and we'll sell it all out real nice. I just did the deal with Dak. Everybody's going to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jerry will be like, what do we got to do? What? We'll get Miller Lite in here. We'll do a full press. We'll do all the radio. We'll do what does it take? Canelo, Saunders, bro, all the hint is going to come from everywhere to go to that fight. Everywhere. Those tickets are going to be thousands of dollars. Thousands.
I agree.
Man. Y'all want tickets? But we don't have them. We don't have those tickets. But it would be sure nice if we did. Oh, my gosh. You watching any new shows?
I haven't.
You watching UFC, though?
Yeah. UFC lately. I saw UFC this past weekend. Leon Edwards versus Muhammad ended in an unfortunate eye poke.
Was it unfortunate?
Yes, it was.
Like, was it incidental?
Well, the thing is that Leon Edwards had got a warning earlier on in the fight, so I was almost certain that it was going to be called, like, yeah, you fucked up, we warned you, but it was totally incidental, like, it was accidental. Sorry.
Oh, okay, that's
yeah,
okay.
It was accidental. It was unfortunate, man. But another thing, I don't know why, Leon Edwards is number 3 in the world. Muhammad's like number 13. So what a huge opportunity for Muhammad to be fighting a top 3 guy. He could have made a quick jump, which is why he was so upset. But
was this Bilal
yes,
Muhammad?
Yes,
okay.
Bilal Muhammad. I don't know, man. These things happen. I don't know. They need to. It has been said that they need to have the closed off gloves to where there's like padding like on and not the exposed fingers. But I mean, there's got to be a reason why they haven't done that. I don't know. It's just unfortunate. John Jones also, he's been called out for eye pokes and stuff like that. But fighters like they stick their hand out to measure the distance, the distance, and that tends to lead to an eye poke. But it's unfortunate, but shit happens. Hopefully they do a rematch.
Yeah, I think a rematch is going to be in order.
His eye looked pretty bad. It was bleeding.
Yeah, there's been times where I've seen eye pokes and it's like, dude, his eye is swollen.
Yeah.
Like, usually you don't see an eye swollen, but you've seen those fingers get into those eyeballs, and it's like, ooh,
knuckle deep.
Yeah, exactly, knuckle deep.
Yeah.
What's on deck for streaming? You do anything new for streaming?
I haven't, man. I've kind of gotten away from the streaming. I've just kind of been busy with other things. But I kind of just do it at random when I feel like it. It's kind of taking a back seat to all of my other projects that I have going on right now. So
we're keeping them real busy.
Yeah.
I watched Andre the Giant last night on HBO Max.
How was it?
It was cool. It was there. I got kind of upset with it midway because it turned into like a Hulk Hogan miniseries in the middle. But like Hogan was it was like passing the torch. It's like in that movie, The Rundown with Schwarzenegger and The Rock, when they're in the club and Schwarzenegger says, "Good luck." It's kind of like a passing of the torch. You kind of had that in there whenever
The body slam.
Yeah, so the body slam was like the crescendo for Hogan, like taking over midway. But I can't blame him. I got to blame the people who made it. But dude, that Andre the Giant was like, you just see him next to just like regular humans, and you're just like, even Paul White, the Big Show. He's not called Big Show anymore, but Paul White, like he doesn't even look as imposing as Andre the Giant looked. Yeah. It just looks different. The only person I think that comes close to looking that imposing when you're seeing them on television is Shaq. He kind of looks close. He's such a big human.
Yeah, which he was on AEW.
He had
the other week.
Yeah, he had a fight a couple weeks, or not a fight, but did you see that slam?
A match.
Did you see that slam?
Which one?
When Rhodes took him over.
No,
bro. So there's a tag match. It's Rhodes and it's these two females, and one's with Shaq and one's with Rhodes, and Shaq is like leaning on his side. Well, the ladies had set up tables, and they're right behind Shaq, how coincidentally, and Rhodes does like comes off the rope, and he jumps and dives at Shaq, and then they go through two tables. And you can kind of see whenever they land, Rhodes like covers up Shaq's face, and you can ask him, he's like, "Tap me if you're okay, tap me," and he taps him to let him know he's okay. But then afterwards, like Rhodes falls, and Shaq looks like he's dead. And then sure enough, like they had to cart him out. They took him on a stretcher because like they come back from commercial, and he's just laying there like he's not moving. He looks like he's in bad shape. And so they take him out on a gurney, and they take him into the EMS to the ambulance, and they load him in. And of course, somebody messes up the closing of the doors. Like they close the doors wrong, and then they do it again, and then somebody opens the door back out, and Shaq's gone. Like dun dun, Shaq's gone.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's how it kind of ended. But I just saw that on I don't watch wrestling, but I'll go to like Twitter, and I'll see the highlight. I'll be like, just show me what happened, what I really want to see. I'm not going to watch the whole, event. I don't got time for that.
Yeah.
All right, folks, that's been the show. Ended off kind of flat. It's all good, though. I'm talking about stuff I want to talk about. Tomorrow, Tay Andrews, Lockhart High School. Seaver, class 22. It's going to be fun. All right, we're out. See you later.